don't want to be a scammer, but I have messed with scammers, and it do be a little fun.
The slaves were freed because of music. The songs that they sung, from Follow the Drinking Gourd to Wade in the Water, it was beyond. It was them telling each other how we gonna get free. So now when I think about the music, I think about the music now enslaving us.
They murdered that boy. They're gonna have to prove me different. Prove me wrong, and they haven't yet.
As a rich Black person with expendable funds, you should be behind the scenes like, oh, you guys need money for what? Got it. This here you go. You need an autopsy done? You need a lawyer? Got it. I'm funding it. Boomers, they love to just sit and hold their position even when they're turning to dust. Well, welcome to What Just Happened. This is episode 16 in this month. Thank you guys for watching. I have a new crop of illustrious cast members here with us. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Alvin from HipHopWire, CashIsLife.com, all that good stuff.
Miss Lissa, your favorite media personality and stand-up comedian.
Sylvia K. Alston, CEO and Managing Partner of Momentum Risk Management.
And we have a stacked lineup for y'all today, so let's jump right into it. Some great topics on the docket for this evening. We're gonna start off with music though first.
Soulja?
not music Soulja.
Got my eye on the prize.
See what you did with the eye on the prize, too. Right.
You know I'm half crazy.
You ain't right.
Yo, shut up. Okay, so the main thing for today is it feels like school days all over again with this culture war between Young Miami's Spend That versus India.Arie. So if you guys aren't aware, India.Arie made some comments, and the debate really started after she criticized the massive popularity of Young Miami's song Spend That. She stated that music shapes culture and celebrating lyrics about scamming and materialism reflects a deeper problem in society, and it's not just a catchy song. And Young Miami obviously defended her record and said it's just, entertainment, it's a good time, and it resonates with fans. What do you guys think? I'll start. I think India.Arie, baby, everybody can't be you. Everybody ain't making songs about I am not my hair, I'm not my skin. Some of us do want to hear the ratchet shit. Some of us do want to, some of us can relate to messing with a scammer and having booster friends and running up in the store and coming out with some
Do you want to be a scammer?
I don't want to be a scammer, but I have messed with scammers, and it do be a little fun. Like, hello, like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna sit here and act all like it's not fun to get from when the scammer's pieces is hitting. That's a good time to be around a scammer. Now, when they down and out, that's when you get out of there. But so honestly, it's just about duality of life. Like we're never gonna all just be on our kumbaya. Nature, it's never gonna give that across the board, right? There's some of us that are gonna be into that, that are into the spiritual vibes and really in touch with that side, and then some of us are just we want to shake some ass and be ratchet and talk about boosting and scamming and shopping, and I think that's okay. It's just the duality of life. I don't think we need to be criticizing in Miami when there's so many other rappers since the beginning of rap
for sure
that rap about deplorable things. Oh my God, I was listening to this Bun B record the other day, Get Throwed, and he has a line that says something along the lines of, never could a hoe tell me stop it, no I won't, no I can't. And I'm just like, yo, that's crazy. You just said a girl can't tell you no, but we're talking about Young Miami and Spend That. What she's talking about in that song is the least of our problems, honestly. And it's the least, the content is some of the least deplorable content in rap that I can give you so many examples of rap songs that have terrible content. So that's my opinion on it.
I love Jesus and God, and I love a good Biggie song, but I do feel like there's no balance, right? So I just feel like what you say and how everything that you digest is your diet, the music, the words you use, what you allow people to say about you. So when I think about the fact that the slaves were freed because of music, the songs that they sung, from follow the drinking gourd to wade in the water, it was beyond, it was them telling each other how we gonna get free. So now when I think about the music, I think about the music now enslaving us. Where all my scamming, what? Where are all my books? Like my grandmother, when I remember I was singing Whoop, There It Is, my grandma said, you better know the Lord's Prayer, like you know where that whoop is at. And you know what I did? I picked up the Bible and now I can say, Our Father who art in heaven, how I know what the Lord's Prayer is, right? So I just feel like there isn't enough balance, because like you said, you could pull up a lot of songs where they saying ratchet, but where's our fight the power? Where is our songs that do have some substance? Those are not highlighted enough. And I just feel like, yeah, balance is necessary, but at this time, in this climate, and what's going on, where are my encyclopedia people that know how to read at? Like, can we summon y'all, please? It's enough songs doing the same thing. Like, y'all got chains on your necks again like slaves. Y'all asking for the most ratchet of the ratchet. Y'all can't tell time. Y'all don't know how to read a script. We are in a deficit. It's not enough positive.
See,
so we need something right now to switch us back.
I disagree. There are a lot of artists that I can name that make that type of music.
Like
Cleo Soul makes soulful music that I throw her on every weekend. I love that lady's music. There are so many artists that I can pick and choose from that make the opposite of what Young Miami is talking about. And that's what I mean by duality. Like, you can pick and choose what you want to listen to. Sometimes I want to shake, sometimes I want to drop it low. Sometimes I want to get on my knees and praise the Lord. Like, it just, there's so many different artists.
Mainstream music, though, mainstream, I'm turning my dial.
Right.
I'm listening to the music.
What do you hear most?
I hear what you're
What do you
saying?
hear most?
Yeah.
I think what you are describing, though, or I think what India.Arie was describing, is an imbalance in the system that cycles music out. So the larger advertising budgets and the marketing dollars are going to go towards songs that I feel like display the culture in the light that that Young Miami did. India.Arie probably, and she's spoken, I think, ad nauseum about her depression and her issues within the music industry. I think she was being more hypercritical of the fact that what she probably is looking for as an artist, or what more indie soul artists need, they don't get those kind of advertising budgets to put their music in the same light that a Young Miami would. So there is no balance. You said there's no balance. There is no balance, really. And I think that's more of an issue of the industry as opposed to the artistry itself.
I think India.Arie also said that, recommended, you got to make better choices, right? It's up to you what you want to listen to, what resonates with you, right? But during the whole discussion, I just found it like interesting how people just have short memories, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, as I was a DJ in college, so there were a bunch of records that I just played I just did not like. I thought they were terrible, right? Like, I had to play My Neck and My Back. I had to play, but I can't front, I like Give Me the Lou by Biggie, right? But he's talking about snatching the number one mom pendant from a pregnant lady, right? So there's always been crazy topics in hip hop, but you got to balance it out. And I think you can't just say, okay, spend that, right? I think the song is terrible, right? It's talking about scammers. I don't think you should lead that lifestyle. No disrespect, you know what I'm saying? But you might end up in jail. It doesn't show the best, I don't know, moral compass, but people like the song. It's the song of the summer. You put it on.
It is a very catchy song.
Yeah, people are going to bop to it. But like you said, there are other positive stuff out there that you could listen to. You could choose to, rock out to Spend That. Or you could choose to rock, I don't know, like a Kendrick Lamar or... There's plenty of positive stuff out there, but like you said, you have to search for it. You can't depend on the radio dial or these playlists that are being put in your timeline. You got to seek it out. So before people say, "Yo, there's no balance," and I agree, there's no balance in how it's presented. But if you really seek it out, you can find it. You'll find something positive.
But I think that the issue is that we're talking about a lot of the generation being led by music. And if the younger generation does not have, I don't think, the resources or the wherewithal to figure out where to find a balance of the music, right? And so if it's not coming up, if it's not immediately in their algorithm, this stuff is like really pushed through the algorithm, right? And it grows that way. If younger kids are looking for more positive vibes, or if their parents are not involved in that process, how do they get a hold of it? Because what's on the dials, that's not happening at all. And that's not what's coming through social media either.
I totally agree. Because like we had like home training, right? Like when I was bumping Ain't No Fun, like, yeah, I was partying too, but I knew better. I'm not trying to pass around a woman to my friends, anything like that, right? So like we gotta, just gotta have better examples to say like, look, like, yeah, have a good time with this, but really, like, is this the moral road you want to go down? Not really.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's always a more serious way to analyze things that may seem, fun on the surface level. So I totally understand where you guys are coming from.
But you don't, in the club, you don't want to hear India.Arie. You want to hear Young Miami. And I get it. I get it.
But you could throw on some Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, for sure. That's my girl.
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
that's my girl.
It's gonna be a very short. It's gonna be one song. Very short set.
Lauryn got about 3 or 4 bops for the club.
In the R&B section of the night.
But if you a good DJ, you know how to take the beats that the kids want to dance to and put the other lyrics.
But these DJs don't be that good.
Because y'all not challenging yourself. Again, y'all don't even know how to write script, right? So at some point, y'all going to be treating script like it's hieroglyphics because y'all don't want to teach and learn and better yourselves. We the only culture doing this.
Yeah.
When you go to China, they algorithm is not spin that, bro. They still teaching their kids about engineering and science things. It's a different algorithm. And
do they even let their kids have TikTok pages? Like they do not.
Yeah, even that.
But they find ways around it.
They do. The kids find ways to get a hold of it.
It's like, but I don't know. That's kind of a slippery slope topic, right? Because just because a government or a society blocks certain things, it doesn't mean that their society isn't finding ways to get access to the thing that they're blocking.
Or that is right. Or that is right.
So it's just kind of like it's like you say, when you tell your child they can't do something, they want to do it more. So
it pushes them towards it more.
Yeah, it creates an adverse effect anyways, I think. But just to some of your sentiments, kind of pushing balance is important, right? So platforming things that are opposite of what's already being platformed is important. I think that's like the general crux of what everyone's.
I think just good home training.
And taking certain things away. Where's there's no more shows like Cosby Show. There's not even any more shows like Martin for that much. So we could just see black people doing. But I was
hated Martin. Oh,
I can get it.
Unpopular opinion. Unpopular opinion. We'll devolve in a completely different direction. I am not a Martin fan.
I love Martin. I was just watching Rock. Remember Rock?
Yes,
Rock
that was a great show.
Channel 5, right? And I was talking to my friend, and he made a great point. Martin replaced Rock. Literally 1 year after the cancelization, they took from this black, powerful working man and his wife, and then gave us "What's Up?" And I love Martin, but again, certain things it's like if you let them keep playing in your face, next thing you know, you talk about spin that and it's like all you had to do was.
Let's circle back to that because I never heard of Rock. We gonna have to.
You never heard of Rock?
Well, you gotta watch Rock.
That was a great family show. Yes, Charles Dutton, exactly. It was a great family show.
It was dope.
In the news, we're going to switch it over a little bit to a more serious topic that's been in the news lately. I want to talk about the tragic passing of Nolan Wells. So the case centers on the death of 18-year-old Mississippi college football player Nolan Wells, who was found dead after disappearing on July 4th during a boat trip to Horn Island with his friends. His friends were all white, just FYI, and he is black. This prompted a widespread question about what happened during his final hours. And just want to understand what you guys' initial thoughts were, especially when you saw the photo come out when the case was still in the he's missing stage and we didn't know that he was pronounced dead yet.
My initial thought was they murdered that boy. They're going to have to prove me different. Prove me wrong. And they haven't yet. Like when you saw the picture, you knew what it was. Like, think about the history of Mississippi. Only black kid in a group of white kids that, have everything to lose and they're going to get the benefit of a doubt. But the black child turns up missing, eventually turns up dead. You're going to have to prove to me that there wasn't foul play against him. Prove it. And they haven't done that.
That was my feeling initially as well, that there's definitely foul play involved. But now since the press conference with the family and Al Sharpton and Benjamin Crump, there's so many different inconsistencies in the stories of the people that Nolan was with that evening, and it looks pretty obvious that they are definitely hiding information. And to me, people who are telling the truth would not be hiding information. If a friend of mine went missing and we're all out together, I would be as forthcoming as possible to make sure that we could find my friend, or that we could find information about what happened to him that evening. For them to be lawyering up, removing themselves from giving any response to the parents, I think that kind of lets us know what direction we're going with the story. Yeah.
And this is why Colin Kaepernick is paying for an independent autopsy, which is amazing. And I fully believe that this is what rich people should be doing with their excess money.
Yeah.
And he's done it before. He's paid for autopsies of other, suspect deaths. He was like, you know what, I'll take care of the autopsy for you.
This is exactly what rich people should be doing with their excess funds. Rich Black people.
Right, heavy on that.
Rich Black people should be... If you don't want to be on the front lines of anything, maybe you're just not a type of person to be protesting for every cause or, whatever. When things like this happen within the Black community, as a rich Black person with expendable funds, you should be behind the scenes like, oh, you guys need money for what? Got it. Here you go. You need an autopsy done? You need a lawyer? Got it. I'm funding it. That's what I would be doing with my money if I was rich. Like, oh, y'all need what? Got you. Y'all need this to get this done? Got you. And I love that he's doing that. But overall, my sentiments about this situation are the same as my sentiments were for Carmelo Anthony and his family. We, as a Black community, need to stop placing our children in spaces where they're surrounded by white people. They're just not safe. If you can help it. Sometimes you cannot help it, and I understand that because I grew up in predominantly white spaces for most of my life. But I do believe my mother could have helped that, but that's neither here nor there. Putting your Black child in predominantly white spaces where they only have white friends, they're only seeing white people, like everywhere they go, just white people, white people, white people. It's dangerous. Point blank, period. They're in danger when you do this. So now when your Black child is trying to enjoy the 4th of July and their friend choice is all white and they're going off on a boat somewhere, you're not there. It's not just, oh, my child is going to have fun. It's my child is in danger. And it's crazy that we have to think this way, but we do. Time and time and time and time and time again. Throughout history, these have been the results. Black kids surrounded by white people are not safe.
Black adults, for that matter. What about that woman that was at the mother's football and sleepover?
Yeah.
So it don't even matter if you're a child. It's adults as well.
Yeah, I think her name was Tasla Hardy.
Yes.
Being surrounded by white people is not safe.
I think you brought up several points that we have to speak to. I think going back to the beginning of the time, there's the argument between, was Booker T. Washington or W.E.B. Du Bois right? Or, what direction should Black people go? Right. And I think there has to be a balance of us in all spaces, in the trades, in high society, in white collar in white collar careers. But I think what winds up happening is that this is like a class issue. The higher we go, the higher we ascend, it tends not to be that many of us in those rooms, the higher we ascend, right? Yeah. I was just listening to some of the background of Nolan's family when they talked at the press conference. The father was saying, because people were asking like, well, why the first night that he went missing, why didn't they go out to the barrier island? And the father was like, I don't have any friends with boats.
Come on.
That's crazy.
And it was like all those kids jumped on a boat to go out to the island. Like their families all have boats. Mm-hmm. But in Black space, he didn't have anybody that he could call on with a boat that could take him out to the barrier island to see if his child was okay. And it was just like, these are class issues that we're discussing. And I think, him being a football player, him being in certain spaces, I think it seemed as if he had two different types of friends. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Really two different lives, honestly.
His Black friends,
his Black friends. And then when he's playing football, he's surrounded by his white friends. I think it puts us in a very it's not uncharted territory. We've been doing this as since the beginning of time. But I think if you want certain things out of your child's career, if you want certain educational opportunities for your children, it may put them in a place where they are going to be in spaces where other Black children are not. And I've been experienced that myself. And it is a very uncomfortable place as a parent to be in, because you don't know when you're making these decisions whether or not it's the right or wrong decision. As a parent, you're thinking you're making the best decision with the information that you have at that time, knowing that child, trying to expose your child and give them areas of opportunity. I've been in that position. And would I do it differently now after the fact? Yeah, you think about it and you say, was this really the right decision for my child? Yeah. So it's a really hard position for the parents to be in. But it definitely also raises the question all the time of, are we protected when we are in certain spaces outside of our own? Are we protected though when we are in all Black spaces as well? So there's questions that can be answered on both sides.
And one thing I found infuriating was that the mother had to track down his phone before the authorities. She's the one that found the phone. So that shows, like, to me, like, where is the urgency for a Black child that his own mama had to find his phone?
She also had that. I think she had that Lifestyle 360 app that parents use to search down their search down their kids. And I mean, we're just in a time technologically where that is so important to be able to get.
So clearly they were aware of, like, this is our kid. We want to look out for him. But like you said, at the same time, you don't want to kind of hold him back from certain opportunities because, he might have been sincerely thinking that these people had their best of interest for him. But clearly it's looking like they didn't. And, like, I fear I don't ever want to chastise a parent saying, you should have this, you should have did this, you should have that. Because hindsight is 20/20. But like, when you look at everything, because like, I was triggered when I saw the photo. I was like, oh, I know what, I know what
you already knew.
Instantly, you got a bad feeling. I did not get the feeling when I first saw the story before the body was found that he would be found alive. I did not. When I saw the picture, I just didn't get the feeling he would be found alive. And
when they said that everyone said they didn't know what happened, how are y'all all together and you don't know what happened?
And they had his phone.
It's like, I mean, looking at all this, I know that, like, when we were raised, it was like, yo, if you go somewhere with your friends, you better come back.
Leave out together.
Like, you don't want to be the one being like, where were you? What happened? Like that's like a core memory. Like, you always stick with your friends no matter what.
And then also, if your friend is missing and on this island where you can only get on and off with a boat, and he came with you, how do you go home?
Right.
And don't tell his parents.
And say you don't.
We would have been circling that island like crazy, yelling. Like, we would have went and got the parents and then none of it makes sense. And it also goes back to what Alexa was saying earlier a little bit, where like with the Kaepernick spinning, back in the day, Black people funded the Black Panther Party. Y'all want to buy Jordans, lace fronts. We don't even put $1 back into the culture. We don't have a Black school, we have Carver, one Black bank. We don't have enough Black institutions and things for us. I saw a video of a woman that was saying if we all just put like $1 a week, we could have our own hospitals, healthcare, like so many things. Black people have all this money, but we spend the most money, and all we have to show for it is mad Jordans. Y'all good?
We are a consumer-driven society, and I do think that there is a lot of wealth in community that's not evenly distributed. But I also think that there's infrastructure issues. Even with the amount of wealth that we have inside community, there are still infrastructure issues, even amongst people who have a lot of money. The things that we typically don't control that would change our trajectory in this country. We don't control schools.
Right.
We don't control school boards. We have Black banks. Do y'all have accounts with those Black banks? Are they?
I have a Carver account, thank you.
You do, but by and large, a lot of us do
but
not
to the scammers. To the scammers, I'm sorry. Nah, because y'all ain't gonna put my information nowhere. I don't have no accounts. Thank you. I take that back.
But we what I'm saying on the flip side is we actually have to, the products that are in place for us to be able to grow our communities, do we really support? That's another question. Right. The other question, you mentioned the Colin Kaepernick independent autopsy. We now have the findings of this autopsy from Mississippi, and the findings were that it was an accidental drowning. I think this Colin Kaepernick independent autopsy is going to be hella important because I believe that the body faced trauma, and if a body faced trauma with accidental drowning, how did all of this happen? Exactly. Like, there's a lot of questions that I think are not answered. I was on Threads early this morning, and there was some unconfirmed reports of other kids who were with this group of kids, that there was another party. So I'm speaking off the record, right? But this is an unconfirmed report that there was another party that people are saying Nolan actually did make it off that island, that there was a pool party on the mainland. All of the kids went there, and that is where the incident took place. And so that the parents are actually aware of this. The legal team is aware of this. They're not making it public information because they're still doing their due diligence and their research behind that. But they're now saying that there is unconfirmed reports that he made it to this pool party. There's photographs of him at this pool party, but all of these kids have been deleting the pictures and the images off of Snapchat and their text messages, removing the images of him at that pool party. And it's actually there where they believe that there another fight erupted and something happened to him there. And then they brought the body back to the barrier island.
The island.
That's crazy.
So there is a lot of unconfirmed reports and allegations, but it'll be just very interesting to see where this is headed.
Like I said, they still can't prove to me that child was not killed. Because
for sure, there's foul play.
Just lining up. Like what 18-year-old doesn't have their phone with them.
But the legal system is involved with all of this. They are, the legal system they're in cahoots. It seems like
1000%.
with the families to cover up the information.
One of the kids' mom is a judge.
Is a judge.
Come on now.
We know a lot of the times the Klansmen and the police officers have the same uniform.
Same
what y'all not going to do is throw some wool over our eyes. So we already know that. And I also want to just say one thing for me. It makes me sad when someone speaks well, we say they talk like they white. Or when somebody's doing... So we are conditioned to think that white is right, which is why what Malcolm X said, if a white man selling ice, black man selling ice, they go into the white man because they think it's colder. We got to recondition our brains.
Yes.
That even when the lady was saying about us investing, so many people in the comments was like, no, we can't do this. We can't because y'all saying we can't. Anything we say about ourselves is going to always be true. So we can, if we spoke differently and it's had a different mindset, like now I want to start having secret meetings, right?
How we organize it?
And cut the camera now. And that's how. Like, I don't want to say nothing, but I don't want to not say nothing.
How we organize it in secret?
I'm going to tell you. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to tell you after that.
Word of mouth. We got to go back to word of mouth.
We're the word of mouth. Y'all want to tell everything. Like, nah, we need to have a cookout.
On social media.
For real.
No AI flyers for our secret meeting.
Okay, but so then we have to address this because the movement from the beginning of time has always been co-opted by somebody within the movement.
It's always been ops.
So it's always been ops within the movement. So if we trying to organize or if we trying to put something together, we got to deal with the fact that among us are people who, you know, what they say, all kinfolk ain't
skinfolk.
All skinfolk ain't
But we got to take our page out of the book of Harriet Tubman.
How we dealing with it?
Because if you not with us, you against us, bro. You not making it out the meeting if we confused. Like, I'm sorry.
Somehow I believe this about you.
I'm with you.
My birthday is August 22nd. That's the second day of Nat Turner's revolt. My birthday. I was Miss Lissa knows. It's MLK. I feel like God put me on this earth to do. I'm not afraid. Like, let's stop letting them play in our face. That's it.
I hear that.
By whatever that means. Let's stop letting people play in our face.
All right, let's get a little bit deeper into some more political topics. So we've got a senator that's missing, Senator McConnell.
He dead.
He ain't missing. He did.
He did.
Good grief.
Allegedly. But he's a longtime senator that was hospitalized in June, and his office has released very few details since then. So it's fueling speculation about his condition and whether or not he is actually alive. And elected officials should be more transparent about their health. Many believe that Republicans are not being truthful about his condition because if he's dead, they would lose a Senate seat.
Well, they actually lost two now because Lindsey Graham died.
And that's confirmed that Lindsey Graham is dead.
That's confirmed that he is right.
And then CNN Scott Jennings went on the news and said that he had a 17 to 20 minute phone conversation with McConnell while McConnell remains hospitalized. Jennings said that they discussed topics like Iran and Ukraine and blah, 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 blah.
That's a lie.
And people are pressing for proof. And if Jennings lied, and they think if he lied, he should be fired from CNN.
Yeah.
Sure. I think so too. I think that man is dead. And this is what I mean about, this is the definition of gatekeeping. Like boomers they love to just sit and hold their position even when they're turning to dust.
Don't
And
talk
it's
about
just
fuck Master Flex like that.
Listen, old people and
no.
gatekeeping are like
Shots fired.
They don't ever want to sit their ass down and retire. McConnell was like, what, 84, 86? You need to be retired. Sit the down, and you have more than enough money to retire. Go sit your ass down.
Please.
Go spend time with your grandkids, with your family. Go knit something. I don't know, but get the out the seat.
They can't
so
let go.
Somebody with a little more youth can hop in there and make some change and evolve our government. But that's the thing. These boomers and these people in the Senate and the House of Representatives, they got the government in a headlock, and they're not letting up because the policies that they promote are for them. And they know that once they leave, the policies aren't going to be in their favor anymore. But it's just like you got, in the case of McConnell, he don't got no years left because allegedly he's dead.
Ran out.
Fertilizer.
Not fertilizer.
All of them that are in their 80s and whatnot, you got a good 5-10 years left on the docket, babe. It's okay to just sit back, kick your feet up, and give it to somebody else. Live your last couple years out in your mansion in the Hamptons.
But let me ask you this question. Do you feel that same way, black and white?
Yes.
Okay, so you think, all right.
Yes.
So you think they all stay too long?
Yes, you're staying too long. At 80 years old, you're in too long. You've done enough. You got your skin in the game. You did everything that you needed to do. Go sit the down.
I'm almost 50. I don't want to work now.
Personally,
so.
Right.
I don't know why I would
would have never thought.
Thank you, babe. Thank you.
Let that lady sit down.
49 and a half.
Come
But that's the thing. But
on.
40, 50, you still got some, some miles to run. You can still do the things that you want to do. But 80, you're done.
But
Go
the grift. Think when people go into elected office, especially at that level, at the congressional level, Senate and Congress people, they go in one way, they come out a completely different way. So there's the trading, there's the lobbying interest money that they're getting. It's too much money to be made for them to walk away from it. Now, I think at some point you do have to ask yourself the question, like, when is enough enough?
Yes.
But McConnell has been in a way for quite some time, and he's done a lot of bad in the office during his time, especially during the Obama years. Like, I'm not sad to see dude meet whatever fate he's meeting at this moment.
These dudes are like the textbook definition of hypocrisy, corruption, all of that. So I remember clearly.
Same for Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, I remember clearly when McConnell was like, "Yo, our duty is to make sure that Barack Obama only gets one term.
Is a one-term president,
and that's it."
Yep.
And it was like, "Oh my God!" So, and then same thing with Lindsey Graham. He said, "Yo, what do you say that Trump would be the death of a party and we deserve it?"
And they deserve it. Like that. Yeah, so he did say that.
Speaking about Trump's death, right? Since you mentioned it, I've heard rumors that he's more sick than they needed. His left side and took a break. It's like, y'all love to act like y'all good. Make him walk on a straight line with a book on his head. Like,
and I think what's so crazy is, and if you look at just 2 summers ago, how they treated Joe Biden, and talked about him ad nauseum about his health, his condition, his fitness to hold office,
and even on his worst day,
he was. It seems like he's, and even with this man has stage 4 colon cancer. Even with that, he seems to be in better shape than some of the party leaders in the Republican Party right now, which is crazy to me. I think if we saw half of what Trump is doing in office, if Joe Biden was doing any of that, the Republicans would be up in arms. But I also think that that's what's wrong with the Democrats. There's not strength to me in the Democrats at all to be able to deal with, the Republican Party at all. Is crazy.
They need more fight. That's the problem. Like,
they definitely need more fight.
I always vote for my best interest, straight up. And I've been a Democrat for years, but I have no problem saying, like, yo, they walk around here like they're scared. Like they're chicken shit. Like, yo, like, you see what Trump is doing. Like, he's like, there are laws and all these, traditions. And he's like, F that, I'm going to get paid.
Yeah.
So you can't, as an elected official, say, yo, you can't do, at least put up a fight. That's why these young politicians are coming in and taking their food, because people are like, I'm going to rock with them. I'm gonna rock with them because at least they're showing me that they have some fight in them.
Yeah.
That's why I would have joined the birthday party if that would have been. Remember when Kanye was trying at this point? The birthday party, Kanye was good, baby.
All
You the
right.
birthday.
Let's switch gears and jump into some sports. So the world champion LA Dodgers visited the White House, to the dismay of many, and a few players didn't go. But how do we feel about the Knicks planning to attend? It seems like the owner has put them in a corner. He's already accepted the invite to the White House. We don't know if everyone on the Knicks is going to go. There's been some old tweets pulled up from Josh Hart of him dissing Trump. So how do you feel? How do you guys feel if the Knicks do go, if they don't go?
Be clear, the owner accepted the invite.
Right.
The owner
Exactly.
is the one that's
Exactly.
buddy with Trump.
Exactly.
So when it comes down to the Knicks players, no matter how they try to spin it, it's going to be on them. It's going to be their personal decision. So I think as the date approaches, there are going to be all types of conflicts like, oh, man, I'm out of town that day. I'm not going to be there. So they don't have to say like, yo, I ain't messing with Trump.
Yeah, done.
I think there's behind the scenes beef with the Knicks owner about this. I do not believe that the players have not been vocal about the fact that they have no interest in going to the White House. I think that's why, the scheduling date has been such an issue, because I think Dolan is now trying to walk that fine line of, all right, I spoke out. Trump is my friend. Yes, we want to accept the invitation, but you own a ball club of players who are champions. They brought you the chips.
Yep.
You can't tell these people
With a
where
black point guard,
they're going to
Dominican
spend their
power
time
forward.
and what messaging they're going to, because you're accepting a messaging to me if you go to the White House at this
Yes.
Yeah.
at this
Definitely.
point. There's no conversation that you can have with Donald Trump that's going to make any any pathway into, especially about issues that these players I believe care about. So to me, there's no advantage for them to go to the White House at all.
Unless they have a meeting before
The meeting?
and we plotting and putting a couple of microphones and cameras of our own, and our own surveillance system, then maybe. Or if y'all gonna put a little, something in his McDonald's, but other than that, like, what y'all doing there, bro? Like, unless we had a meeting first.
Yeah.
Turn the cameras off.
That would honestly be the only way I would support them going to the White House, if they had something to put in the McDonald's. But other than that, it's no reason to be up in that deplorable place.
Nope.
And that's exactly what he's turned it into.
Literally.
A deplorable place.
Turned
And I just
into-
want to say, I am not depressed. I never, ever have felt suicidal. Never.
So just
Love
in case
life.
you come up, all right,
Right.
we got it.
Yeah.
Never
We got it.
even thought about it. Love being here. Wholeheartedly. Wouldn't even consider, okay? And I don't know how to swim. So I would never be on a boat for no
Surrounded
reason.
by
Like,
white
no
people.
phone.
Late at night with all your white friends.
I don't even have that many. Okay?
And know what's the damn shame that people have to do that.
You
Exactly, you have to say that.
I am not
You gotta
suicidal.
put
I'm not.
disclaimers out.
You
You
have to
do.
do
And I'm
that.
not an organ donor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. You
Just
do have
so
to
y'all
put.
know, and my edges is not. I don't want y'all to ever try to just take anything.
No assumptions.
Yeah, like
Right.
on this side.
Do you think they should go?
Hell no. They all need to go find a conflicting thing to do and be like, sorry, we can't make it.
We can't make it.
Because
Come on over to the Black House. I'll drop the address later.
there's no reason for them to go to the White House. Like, I don't think any sports team needs to go. That's predominantly black players. You don't need to be in the White House. Point blank, period.
Yeah.
Moving on to the film world, though. So Tyler Perry's got a new installment of Why Did I Get Married? It's called Why Did I Get Married Again? It premieres exclusively on Netflix in September, on September 9th. And it's the third installment, and it's following the original friend group as they reunite for a destination wedding in Lake Como, Italy. And it's the wedding of Marcus and Angela's daughter. Janet will not be in this installment, but are you guys gonna watch?
Yeah, I got Netflix, so it'll probably
Yeah,
pop
I
up.
probably
I'll hit
will.
play.
I'm gonna
I'll watch it.
I like that. I
I'll
like
watch
that installment
I'll watch it.
franchise.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'll watch
it's entertaining. I probably will check it
I
out.
like Why Did I Get Married? I will be watching it whether Janet's in it or not.
It makes sense for her not being it though. She's
Why do
not
you think
married
so?
anymore. Her man gone.
Yeah, he died in the
Right.
So
film.
like,
I mean, they
relax.
could have wrote something else for her, but I could see her being like, "I'm good off
Yeah,
this.
for what?
I did it already."
Yeah, like, and her man was doing the bending, right?
Yes, like
We're good.
iconic. We got
We're
some
good.
iconic clips of Janet from the last installment.
Yeah, we
though.
good.
Like, so you doing the bending?
Yeah, we good.
I say that all the time. That's like a vocal stem of mine now.
And I don't like the fact that it's not in the theater. Like, you good. I get it, Tyler, but I want to go yell at the screen.
I see
Y'all
that about
taking
you.
away-
Yes, I see that. I know you
I
want
was
to
in
go.
Toy Story yelling at the screen. Like, ain't that what you there for? Like, it's the full experience.
Do you think
But do we go to the movies anymore?
I was
That's
gonna
because y'all
say,
don't want to. Y'all ruining it. Y'all ruining everything.
I don't know if this one would have drew a huge crowd though. Like,
If
I
he
think
would have
this
had
one,
Young Miami scamming ass in the
No, that would
commercial.
hurt either. We see Young
I
Miami
think
on
Tyler has a cult
No, I think so,
following
too.
though. I
Oh,
think
yeah,
they will
yeah.
follow him to the theaters.
Oh yeah, they will. I think
for this one, for the third one.
I think so.
Yeah.
I
For
think
that,
so.
I think Netflix probably gave him a big check to put it
Oh,
on
right.
Netflix.
1,000%.
Exactly.
Of course he did.
I better not doing nothing unless
Yeah.
it's a big
Of course.
check.
For sure.
involved.
For
And we
sure.
still come out like when Sinners dropped, everybody was going to the theater to see it.
I never
Yes,
seen that.
everybody
I'm
went.
You never seen Sinners?
You never saw.
Oh, my
okay,
God.
gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. I just
Oh
want to say
my
why. I
God.
just want to say why before all the black people.
Here we go. She gonna don't tell me you gonna say some religious shit.
I didn't see
It's
Cooley
gonna be
High.
some spiritual.
Oh,
I didn't see
No, I'm
Cooley
just-
High.
okay, one thing
I'm just trying to hear what she said.
I don't like vampire stuff. I don't like violence.
Okay.
I don't like certain imagery off rip.
Okay.
I never even finished. I never watched Boys in the Hood. Like, I was living that. Like, I love a different kind of, when I'm watching movies, I'm not into violence and certain things. And I didn't like the word sinners. Why would I go watch that? Like, why would pick a better name?
It was a great.
I just started watching Blackish because I didn't like that title. So I heard it was about vampires. I was like, I'm good. Like, and also, just in a creative standpoint, I barely watch television and movies because I just want my ideas to be mine.
Yeah, I
so
get that.
I'm not even a movie goer like that. Like,
girl, you just switched up your whole.
You
You said you want the movie.
but that's not a movie about like people killing each other. Like, I'm not writing movies about why did I get married because I'm not there yet. But I would support that because I love the first franchise. But now I'm just I've never seen Sinners. I might go watch it now because everybody keeps yelling at me.
It's a great
but
movie.
I'm not into vampires and all of that
It's a great
googly
movie.
and Bloods
It's a
and
great movie.
I don't even
great
like Bloods
movie.
and Crips. Y'all want me to watch Bloods and
You just flip flopped so crazy because you was
I'm a fan.
every
I'm a
time
fan.
everything, the
I'm a fan.
movies,
Hold
everybody
on.
go to movies,
I can't-
and now you don't watch
But
movies.
I said I barely watch movies. I do. I barely watch them. But when I do watch them, I would prefer to watch it in theater. I like theater. Like, I like that whole experience. If I'm gonna watch a movie, when I'm at home, I don't even have a TV in my room. I don't even like too much light.
Me either.
I like
I do.
natural
Sorry.
light.
Yeah.
I don't like I like to go outside. I like when air hits me. I don't need to sit in I just love ideas and inspirational walks. I like books still. And I like old stuff. Maybe I have the tism. I like to rewatch.
Autism is hilarious.
I'm still watching old movies over and over again. So I don't know.
Well,
Can I just...
I highly recommend Sinners just to check it out.
Do I have to be
Just check it out.
one-sided?
No,
Not
but
at
that,
all.
I mean,
Not at
I
all.
think that
Not at
does
all.
beg a question though, because there are certain black movies I've never seen
Thank
and
you.
don't.
Like what?
See, I'm about to be mad.
Well, I
already
haven't
know.
seen Cooley High, and I feel like when I say that,
You never seen
Well, you seen Cooley High?
I haven't seen Cooley High.
seen
I never
Cooley High.
seen Cooley
She
High.
never seen Cooley High.
I
never
feel like
seen
when I
Cooley
say that,
High.
people are like, yeah. I mean, there's certain movies that I just
Why
haven't
haven't
seen.
you seen Cooley High?
I can't give an answer for it other than to support what she said. When Cooley High came out, I literally was outside. I was outside. Maybe it's too. No, I think that film is even older than me.
Nah,
but I
yeah.
just feel like when my childhood was spent outside, riding bikes with my friends. I did not watch a lot of TV. My mother was also very, very strict about what I could and could not watch.
Okay.
So there are certain certain blaxploitation films
It's
you
been
would not
streaming for a
believe that I
while.
Me
would
neither.
It's been streaming
that I
for
would
years.
not. I can't even tell you that I've seen any
Me
of it.
too.
You seen
But
Shaft?
I did see Shaft.
Superfly?
No, never seen Superfly.
Juice?
Of course.
The Wiz?
All right, we gonna have to
The Wiz, for
this
sure.
quiz.
Yeah.
We gonna
Sorry,
take the
I mean,
quiz
yeah,
off.
okay.
I never
off the line.
It's also
You never seen the whole
generational.
thing, Juice?
I already know the end. I'm good. Rest in peace.
But you're
Well,
a millennial,
anyway.
right? Because Juice, I feel like is Gen X, so it might be a reason why you haven't seen. No.
Well, we're
Which one is the
gonna
youngest
all
one?
write down. We're gonna write down all the black
Next
movies we
episode,
haven't
we
seen.
need
the black
to
movie
watch.
list watch
See,
for sure.
and we're gonna circle back next
circle
time and
back.
see if everybody watched them. But I want to thank all of you guys for coming. Thank you for watching, audience. What just happened? Make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and the other things that you do on YouTube. And tune in next week. Do you guys want to do any shameless plugs? Let us know where we can find you. What you got coming up?
I'm your favorite comedian's favorite comedian. You can always catch me at a show. So head to MissLissaKnows.com for more details. And I'll follow you back and all of that stuff too. At the lower third, it's gonna pop up. Do that.
I'm on socials, not often, but sometimes, as All About Sale, SYL. And I own a firm, an insurance brokerage firm. If y'all need me,
Yep.
I don't know what that is, but I feel like I do.
Right.
I need some
We
insurance.
need some
if you
insurance.
need
need some
some
insurance,
insurance.
it's Momentum Risk Management.
Yes.
We'll just Alvin Blanco on the socials and Black Power, y'all.
Black
Power.
Power.
Blanco and the Black Power.
Black Power. That's
All
the real
right.
name.
I'm Alexa Layton on pretty much everything. And we are out. See y'all next week.